afternoon, or evening, depends on when you're watching. My name is Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a whole bunch of things to do, as usual, out in the gardens. I'm going to be planting up a container for the deck, to be doing some weeding, some mulching, a whole bunch of things. But first, I need to finish my coffee because this is very important. I need coffee. I'm very tired. A couple minutes, finish the coffee, then we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so how I like to plant up my containers, I like to use a all-purpose potting mix. I just got this at Home Depot the other day. You want to make sure that you're using potting mix and not garden soil. Garden soil is going to be way too heavy and dense for your container plantings. You want to make sure that your container plantings are nice and light and airy as far as the soil that you're using goes. Next up, I'm going to be using the Proven Winners all-purpose plant food. Just going to sprinkle this in the container. And the next thing that I'm going to do is place my plants before I actually start digging them into the soil in the container. So the first thing that I have is a Carl Forrester, and it says it's a feather reed grass. This is a perennial. The next thing up is going to be Techno White Spreading Lobelia. Here's the tag for that. This gets 6 to 10 inches tall. So actually I'm going to be putting these more towards the front. I have a couple of these, so these are going to be the spiller factor for the container. When you're planting a container, the rule of thumb is you want a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. So this is going to be my thriller. This is going to be the thrill factor, this beautiful grass. This is going to be my spiller. It's going to come along the edge and kind of spill over the edge of the container. So let me place more of these. And then for my filler, I'm going to be planting two called Super Bells Pink. And these get 6 to 12 inches tall. So these are going to pop up just above this and fill in. This will be the beautiful filler. And it's going to spill a little bit too, but we're going to call it a filler just because. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get them in the container. All right, because this is a bigger container, this time of year when it's not super hot out, I can get away with watering this about every other day. I'm gonna move on to something different. I'm gonna cut back these Bells of Ireland. They have pretty much done what they needed to do, and now they're looking a little floppy and sad. All right, got that cleaned up. I definitely have some seeds that I can sprinkle in this area to fill in that gap. And again, they will flush back in next spring. They are perennial. Here's a sedum. Here's a pretty pink dianthus that can now have a little more room to breathe. Here are some Shasta daisies, a dwarf variety. And here is a gorgeous, gorgeous shrub rose that I got on sale. I believe it was under $10 last year, and look at how beautiful this rose is looking. Very nice. And then here is a view of the larkspur. This will it'll be cut back probably in a couple weeks. This is a cooler spring, quote unquote annual, but I planted the seedlings last year for this and they came back. So it's a perennial. Perennials mean plants come back year after year. An annual means that a plant will not come back the next year because the weather in my area is too cold. So like a petunia, like what I was putting up on the deck, that is an annual. That's 1 year and done. Okay, change of plans. I was going to keep working on trimming back some plants in the raised garden beds and planting that last container up, but that's not going to happen because husband is now awake from his nap. So we're going to go ahead and pull out a tree behind me. This tree is a flowering hibiscus / rose of Sharon tree that I'd purchased 15, 20 years ago. I don't know how long. It was sold as a sterile tree, meaning that when the little seeds drop, they're not going to reproduce and create new trees. I think what has happened was initially it was definitely a sterile tree, but over the years, I think the Rose of Sharon part of the tree has taken over the hibiscus part of the tree. So I think it's just a straight up Rose of Sharon tree that now has hybridized itself and is now dropping seeds. That can actually happen. So I think it reverted back to its true self. So the problem is, now that we've moved this tree over here, we did this last year and planted all around it as opposed to just having it in the grass where husband mows around it. I'm noticing seedlings everywhere for this tree, and it is becoming a full-time chore just trying to keep up with getting all the seedlings picked up out of this bed. So I will be replacing this with a different tree. For now, we're going to go ahead and rip this tree out so we can continue mulching down along the fenced line. And I know it hurts to rip out a tree that is as mature as this tree is, and it is beautiful. It gets the purple Rose of Sharon flowers on it, but honestly, it's such a pain in the butt. I'm done with it. We're going to remove this one and plant it with something that's going to be much better suited for this particular space. Now we are left with a big hole with a little bit of roots. We'll be easily able to clean up these roots, fill in the hole, because we do have a whole pile of dirt that was excavated out when we put in the raised beds last year. So we'll be able to fill this in, and we are going to use the cardboard method when we mulch this bed. Okay. Up next, and the final thing that we're doing today, because I'm absolutely exhausted, we are going to cardboard the very edge of this bed and lay mulch on top of it. The reason that we're using cardboard is because I do want to suppress the grass a little bit and redefine the edge. So what we're going to do is, it is windy, so we're going to be laying them down and we're going to wet down cardboard really good to make sure that the cardboard doesn't fly away. Then we're going to put mulch on top. You ready? first layer of cardboard is down. We are going to do a second layer. You just want to make sure that you're overlapping all the seams. You also want to make sure that you're pulling any of the tape or plastic off of the cardboard, because that will not biodegrade, just like the regular cardboard will. So we are just going to finish up this section of cardboard. We're going to lay some mulch down and call it a day. Okay, mulching is done. I think that looks really nice and tidy. Thanks so much for watching, and please comment below and let me know what kind of content you want to see. I'm done. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.